Welcome to the Family Who Builds. My name's Don. Well, this is number 4 in a series of 3. If you're just now joining us, please take a look at the other videos in the series. Now here's why I ask you to join our channel. When you subscribe to our channel, it helps the channel grow and reach more people just like you. When you give me a like, it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And when you take the time out of your busy schedule to leave a comment, it just makes my day. So please join us. Before we get started, let's go over a few things. In the area that we are in, we're not allowed to use cedar timbers as a structural component. In other areas, timber framing would be completely normal and something that would be done. As a matter of fact, it used to be allowed here. It just currently isn't. So now we have an engineered truss that supports the roof. And to protect it, we need some sort of weather-resistant material. In this case, it's going to be Western cedar, and we're going to use it to cover the truss and the ceiling. The cedar plank we are using is 5/8 of an inch thick and 5 inches wide. It's tongue and groove, with one side of the board being smooth and the other side being rough. We want the rough side down on this project. Number 1 rule is to make sure and check the instructions before installing any product. Western cedar requires special fasteners, and if you don't use those fasteners, staining and corrosion will occur, and possibly failure. We are following the manufacturer's instructions, and we are using a 15 gauge galvanized nail. To get started, we measure from the top, and we get the proper placement for our bottom board. We mount the first board with the tongue up and the groove down. We add a board on top and drive the pieces together. We toenail the brad nail into the tongue, and that secures the board. This will be the same process for every board. As we work our way up, we're adding one on top of another until we reach the top. And don't forget to have lots of shims on site. If the framework is not even, placing a shim behind the cedar board is the fix. We also have to keep in mind that we have round plastic boxes that are installed in the framework. These are going to be flush mount can lights. And on the top, we have a metal box for a ceiling fan. We have to cut around those boxes. And to do that, we'll need to have a jigsaw and a hole saw. So, we made it up to the top. And now we need to finish up by installing the bottom trim board. We intentionally left a gap between the cedar board that covers the beam and the ceiling plank. This gap allows for movement due to temperature and humidity. It also allows for adjustment, and we need that adjustment to make sure the top finishes out the way we want. Now this particular board is 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches wide. We ran it through the table saw and we put a bevel on the one side. The angle of the bevel matches the angle of the roof. We finished up both sides of the ceiling and installed the boards that make up the beam. To get started on covering the truss, we installed the bottom cedar board, and then we started on the webbing. We started by installing the center upright and then moved to the right and the left. These cuts must be exact and account for the differences in the truss. We did this by taking measurements and making a template to check the angles. Once we had the angles, we made the cuts for the inside pieces and set the template aside. We'll use that later. So now that we finished up the work on the webbing, it's time to focus on the bottom of the truss and the top of the truss. We ran a 1x16 through the table saw and put a bevel on the one end of it. That will be for the splice. Now, all we have to do is screw it all together. For this purpose, we used exterior grade trim screws that ranged in size from 1 5/8 to 2 inches. There are certain times when building a house that you realize you're building a home for someone to build a future in, a home that's going to be cared for and appreciated. And as we work on this home, that's the feeling that I get. This home is located in an area with beautiful wildlife and amazing views. It's been a pleasure and an honor to build this home, and I can't wait to see how the new owners make it their own. Thank you for joining us on The Family Who Builds, and from us to you, happy building.